Jason, welcome to the Awesome Dad Show.
How are you?
Welcome back. I'm great. We're here at Dad 2.0. Jason, I have been following on YouTube. Great channel. We also had another long form interview. You can see that link somewhere up here, so check that out.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's why we're back together. We enjoyed it.
That's right. Well, you provide a lot of very unique content specifically for fathers. Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about Dad University. How did that get started?
I'll try to make it somewhat short. It's basically I had my second child. We had our second child, and I was looking for answers, and I started a podcast. I was doing a meetup group, and I really just took the next step and said, oh, maybe I should start making some videos. And so it just really came organically of the struggles that I was going through and the things that I've overcome, and not only just having kids, but I do a lot of things related to my own mental health, my own physical health, and always trying to figure out new and different ways that I can improve things and be more efficient.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how it started. And it's been a great ride. People have been very receptive to it. My mission's still the same, is just to educate dads in whatever way I can that things that I experienced and I went through, and that how I've been able to do things. And there's always still struggles, and being honest about that. That not everything's perfect. It's, I have videos like being a dad is hard, or dad depression, and, different things that we all, I think, face. We may not all admit it, but we all deal with it.
One thing I think is really interesting, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday, is that you're creating basically a library of very diverse yet relevant content. Maybe not stuff that every father is searching for actively, but stuff that fathers think about and may search for.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, has there been one particular video that's really resonated with your audience and your fans?
Yeah, I think so. Anything related to being a brand new dad. Brand new dads they have fear, they're excited. It's really the time where they're the most emotion, there's the most emotion inside of them.
Yeah.
And, as the kids get older, maybe, dads love being a father, but the emotion may not be as high. They're establishing the connection with their child, they're doing activities with their child, but when you first have that child, or even through the pregnancy stage, there's so much going on. There's change, there's emotions, and so I think that's where a lot of the dads are seeking out more help, versus dads with older children aren't as inclined to seek out the assistance or resources or something. So I think that's been most resonating. So I have a video as an example, like 7 top tips for new dads.
Yeah. That
really resonates well with people, and that seems to be the crowd that really likes the content and engages and such. So.
And one of your tags or sayings is that we're going to teach you what you don't learn in school, right? Which is incredible, by the way, because there are very limited resources to teach dads how to be fathers. So a tremendous amount of respect for that mission. It's so important. It's not talked about. I interviewed another father who started the Black Daddies Club, Brandon Hay, because he went to a government agency for resources, and they're like, well, we have stuff for moms. We don't have anything for dads.
Right.
So if we can create content.
Well, that's why we're here too at the summit.
Right.
It is more than just the content. I mean, the content's a huge part of it, but it really is changing the narrative of what fatherhood is about. It is about social change. It's about legislative change. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on that's like much more meaningful than just us making videos and even being active. It's like that's all great and it's awesome, but there is this bigger picture that's going on, and and I think we're part of it without even knowing it, or without even really intentionally. We want to change the narrative. That's what we're both trying to do. And I think that's what's important, is that giving these examples, and that you can be a strong man and still be emotional, or that you can talk about how you feel, or that you can still be active with your children. Like, there's no definition anymore. Different gender, different preferences, races, religions, income. It doesn't matter anymore. And so that's the part, and of course it's hard to speak to everybody. And so, but we're trying to, develop as much content as we can and be inclusive, that there's, all dads look differently and act differently and are different. And of course I give my opinion of what worked for me. But I'm a subset of a type of dad.
Sure.
There's all different kinds.
Well, and some of the ideas you bring up, for a preface, I don't think there's any one right way to parent, like you've kind of alluded to. But I like what your channel does in that it's challenged some of the ways that I've father or been a parent.
We've had some good debates.
Yeah, and I think that that's really healthy because when I think too many people are like, this is the way that it's done, it's been
This is
done.
the way it was done to me.
Right,
Yeah.
and they think that that's the right way to do it, but maybe there's a better way. Maybe there's other ways. So I think that just watching 5 minutes a week can really change your perspective on how you're fathering, how you're being a dad.
Yeah, I mean, how can I be more impactful?
Right.
You know, even not even thinking of it as like, how do I impact my children or my families, but how does it impact me?
Yeah.
You know, and that was one of the things that really struck me of why I wanted to do this was I was stressed out. I was going down like towards depression. I was just not in a good place.
Yeah.
And this stuff is what kind of brought me out of saying, wow, like, I don't have to feel this way.
Well, spanking is a really great example. I remember my parents used to always say, this is going to hurt me more than it hurts you, which is true. Because when I became a father and I was spanking, I was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this.
No.
What's a different way? You know, if it hurts me so much, why am I doing it?
Yeah, and I talk about that, you know, in my philosophy and stuff is like, you know, never to do that. And there's no reason to do it. And people argue it. Okay, go ahead and do what you're gonna do.
I don't necessarily think that spanking is wrong or incorrect.
And I do, so we could have that debate.
That's
right.
fair, but for me, you know, based on that debate, I kind of looked inward and I recognized that, you know, I think that there's got to be a better way.
Well, so
you know?
even on the spanking issue, what happens is that I don't think people realize the beyond the spanking. In other words, they feel like, well, I was spanked, so that worked for me.
Right.
No, the other 18 years of your parents being there and talking with you and showing you the right way and providing love to, like, that's what did it.
Yeah.
It wasn't that act of spanking. You know, that's one small sliver. And so I think, you know, I've been against any type of punishment. You know, I mean, in fact, even I go into some of my videos where I don't punish my children. I don't. I also don't praise them in that way.
One of the challenges, and I think we talked about this in our video, is that when you're punishing your kids, they end up not wanting to come to you when they've done something wrong with one of their problems because they don't want to get punished.
Well, I've never done anything wrong. No, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like that's how we I mean, you know, my kids may do something and I disagree with it, and maybe I even told them not to do something and they did it. So then we have to have a discussion about, why did you do that? Like, we talked about this.
Yeah.
How can you make a better decision about that? Like, you know, and it's a conversation, and it's so they feel like they are empowered to make those decisions. And I feel, based on, you know, the research and all of the different information and the people I talk to, that that's a philosophy I want to do. And so for other people, if they don't believe in it, you know, so be it. But it's
Stay
worked really
open.
well.
Stay open to these different ideas. Jason, where can people find out more about you?
Everything's Dad University, YouTube channel, Dad University, and DADUNIV, Dad Univ is kind of the short tag, Twitter and Instagram and everything else, but
Got it.
anywhere.
One last question before I let you go. If you had a billboard that could reach millions and millions and millions of fathers, what would you put on that billboard, Jason?
Be empathetic.
Succinct. Love it.
Easy.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, man.